Everything will work the fuck out.
It always does.
Whew, I'm a little nervous. You a little nervous?
Yes, I'm clammy.
Yeah, I did clearly. Can I smoke this in here?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I don't mind.
What vape is that?
This is a Vaporesso.
A Vaporesso? Like, is that an espresso of vapes?
No, it's just what it's called. I like it because it's disposable. Or not disposable.
Yeah, it's not better.
Feels better for me too.
Nah, it definitely is. Maybe I should come closer too. Whew. So, how you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm
Pretty
good.
well?
Yeah, I actually had like a really good morning. I woke up. I made my girlfriend breakfast. Made her a parfait. So I got some yogurt in a jar. I put some fucking
Granola in there?
some granola and some blackberries and shit. It looked really good, but I had just brushed my teeth, so I couldn't eat no yogurt. So I was really mad. Then I went to the gym directly after dropping her off. Worked out chest and shit, and then came home. I was on the phone with my pops. We were just venting, talk about men shit, becoming a man essentially. And I made some eggs with some green peppers and a fucking bagel and cream cheese.
That sounds
Ate that
amazing.
Yeah, and I drank some coffee. I bought this new Cowboys coffee cup. Tyler's Cowboys coffee cup, and it was terrible. It was a terrible cup.
Why?
Because it fucking broke. It was broken. When I pulled it out, it was broken. So I was really mad about that shit.
I'm trying to get better about making meals for myself. And you made like 2 meals in one just short
Facts.
time frame.
Having a family does that to you. It makes you like provide.
You have to be more conscious of it.
You provide for your resources and all that good shit. But now I've been I'm a good cook. I'm a good cleaner and shit. Before I was like living in a room, so I wasn't really doing much of anything. And when I would cook, I would like.
At your parents' house?
No, it was I was roommating with my homie for like fucking damn near 10 years.
Yeah.
And I was just like kind of in a room, like living out this room. I would cook sometimes like eggs and shit when I came back from the gym, but mainly I would just wait for them to cook, or I would always like order out. This cat's cute as fuck.
That's my problem is that I like 9 out of 10 times will want to get food for myself rather than put in the actual like effort and time to prepare myself a meal.
It's spiritual. It's like I think it makes you feel productive.
It does, because you're actually like putting time and energy and mental thought into like what you're putting into your body.
Facts. And you can construct it the way you want to. You don't have to be like, no onions, no this, no that.
Yeah.
And like
feel bad about it.
A guy like me, it's just like I'm cooking with whatever's there. So I'm throwing like turkey slices in my eggs and shit.
Yeah.
But it'd be fire as fucked up. Be having a good time with it.
Yeah, you can get real creative in the kitchen.
Oh God. And every time we like grocery shop, I think we know what we're doing. We're doing a good job at doing that right now. But then when it comes down to making like an omelet or like some eggs, I'm like, fuck, we have no onions. We have no like sausages. We have nothing that I actually need to make these things.
Yeah.
So I need to do better at being like, I'm going to make this and I need these to make it. But also, whenever I go...
Ingredients.
These ingredients, yeah. Whenever I go to do that shit, I never end up making the meal I want to make anyway.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because you won't want it or things just won't work out that way.
Facts.
Yeah, grocery shopping is a lifelong process.
I think I'm never going to get it right. I'm 28 years old and I just started doing it myself. I did it like maybe once or twice with my roommate.
I always think about too how like way before this people used to hunt and it would be what you could catch for the day.
Yes.
What you could like find herbal wise or plant wise that's edible.
Whatever's provided.
And now
to
we
you.
can just get like I don't know, any type of takeout we want and just go to the store, like everything's so accessible.
It's a blessing and a curse, and that shit costs a lot of money.
It's definitely a
Honestly,
curse.
I'm tired of buying food.
Definitely
I feel like
a blessing.
healthcare and food should be free. Absolutely free. Everything else.
But that goes into like a totally different topic of
That's not
capitalism.
even why we're here.
Yeah.
We're not here for politics.
I could talk about that for a while, actually.
I'm dead, man.
Already broken, they been this numbing wow. I hide my feelings in liquor, I spill my mind to the crowd. I feel so lonely and bitter, it takes so much just to smile. They took another brother from us.
So, Natalie.
Yes, Rio.
Thank you for welcoming me into your house. This is actually really beautiful. I like all these plants. They make me, I can breathe in here. I literally like this shit.
It makes me feel so good to take care of them.
Yeah, do you feel like they're like your little babies?
Yes, it's such a ritual for me to just like water them. I don't know. It
like
just
that.
feels really good to have life in like a.
Do you have like little catchers under them, or when you water them, does the floor get wet?
I honestly just let the water rain down. Like this one spot on the wall, it's stained because, yeah.
It's just like, fuck it.
Yeah, sort of.
Ghetto with the flowers, the ghetto gardener. The ghetto gardener, that's the title of this podcast, the ghetto gardener.
That's actually kind of good.
That's your new mixtape? That should be a DJ name.
Ghetto Garden.
The Ghetto Garden. That's the album.
That's definitely a mixtape. I feel like we should curate that. Like, find people in the city.
Yeah, the Ghetto Garden.
Yes.
Hey, I think we came up with something.
I think so too.
Sick. Well, okay. Welcome to Already Broken. Already Broken for me. Oh yeah, we have a clap button, but everybody always wants to clap. I have a clap button, but I never use it. I don't know which one it is, but we'll go through it later.
I feel like it's the bottom left.
We'll go through it at the end and we'll
like
see.
A clap button.
It does. The bottom left is the clap. Jesus.
Okay, moving forward.
You sicko. No.
Edit that out.
Definitely editing half of this shit out. I always just like to talk at first just to like,
yes,
get
break
us
the
past
ice,
those nerves.
because now it's like, I don't know, when you do something with the knowledge that other people are going to view it,
yeah,
it just comes out so differently.
No,
like,
thanks.
I've been in a space with painting lately where it's like, I just don't want to show anybody because what I create is so different.
You think it's like too different? Different like how? Explain that. Like it's like won't be accepted different, or you're embarrassed of it different?
I
like
just,
too abstract?
Not even that, but just I feel like expression sometimes can be more vulnerable if it is being made without thinking of how it will be perceived
That
in
is so
any
true.
way.
I feel that same way with music. I remember trying to make a hit, like trying to make a club song, or trying to make a girl song, or trying to make, and it never came out right. Like I was always embarrassed of it. Like this shit cheesy as fuck. Like you have those people that think it's cool, but like
I feel like it just comes out more authentic.
Yeah, when you just do it the way you want to do it.
Yeah.
And that's how everything has to work. And I mean, that's a piece of the way I do this. I'm just like, let me stop trying to make everything so
perfect.
Fuck it. Like, it just is what it is. It's what I want to do. And, like, yeah, palatable. And it's the principle of it. Like, are we still getting the purpose across? Are we still helping each other? Then yes. So fuck how it's curated or whatever the fuck it's coming down to. But Already Broken is essentially a saying, I think a lot of people have already said it in different ways, but it's like going through so much in your life, being broken down time after time after time to a point where all you can really go is up, you know, and nothing can really affect you anymore. Not that you become numb or your feelings don't matter anymore, but you just kind of get to a place where it's like, I'm already this beaten down. Either I'm going to do something about it or I'm going to sit here and just...
Nothing can faze me.
Yeah, nothing can faze you at all. And I noticed in my life that, like, we have a lot of these, like, deep conversations about our feelings, about our trauma, about our past. And in that way, we help each other a lot. Like, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, at some random person's house doing drugs, getting drunk. We're all talking about some shit, and it's alleviating for a lot of us. Like, we're actually, like, releasing things that we, like, a lot of skeletons in our closet that we never spoken about at all. And you actually feel good about it. It may be the drugs, it may be the alcohol, but you feel like you got something off your chest. You feel better about a situation.
So much easier to be open.
Yeah, right. And I was like, what if we can do this, but do it on purpose, right? Like, what if we could, intentionally talk about our feelings without having to be drunk or without accidentally doing it, without having to cry about, you know, what happened to us at 7 years old, like, just because we're too fucked up, but, like, actually sit down with a person and share our trauma, share our experiences, and figure out how we can grow with them together, because, you know, a lot of people don't have access to therapy and such like that, so I started Already Broken, one, to, like, be as vulnerable as I already was, and let people know they weren't alone, but also, you know, chip away at other people's things and figure out how they got through it, while also trying to get through it myself. So I want to sit down with people who have these, like, different energies and different problems and just figure out what we can learn from each other. And you have been a really, 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 really different character I've met. I don't even know how, it's been like 3 months since I've known you or something. You're a fucking tweak, dude.
Full on. Full throttle tweak.
Full throttle tweak, dude. And I remember
that's our first song on the mixtape.
Full throttle in the Ghetto Garden. Check it out. No, seriously though, G. And I'm like, man, I love this girl's energy, bro. I love how she's always happy. We're always so like dark and demented in here, and she, no matter what she's going through, she finds a way to come in here and bounce off the walls. And I'm like, I really want to get to know this girl. And like, we talk a lot at work just randomly as fuck, but we mainly fuck around. So I appreciate you for coming here and like doing this podcast. Well, me coming here, let me come here and do this podcast with you. So first off, I feel like I have no idea who you are, and I know these people don't. So let's start off with your name and where you're from. Tell us about yourself a little bit.
I'm Natalie. I'm from Ohio. I'm an artist, a creator.
Okay.
I think that is like the biggest thing I would say about myself. 21 years old, single.
I'll link her Instagram at the bottom for anybody.
I don't have Instagram.
Well, your Snapchat.
Nothing. Phone number.
I'll link her
But
number
don't
at
put
the
my
bottom.
phone number on the
Put
bottom.
a number and an address at the bottom. You got people outside with fucking you know, like the boom boxes and shit playing love songs.
Yes, yeah,
That'd be
perfect.
awesome.
Yeah. Glad to be here. Grateful to be here. I don't know, I have a hard time. I think I'll just be more revealed as the conversation goes on.
So you were born in Ohio, you said?
Yeah.
And how long did you stay there?
I stayed there for 20-some years.
20-some years?
Yeah, and then I lived in Alabama for a year.
Did you go to school out there? What made you go to Alabama?
Actually, my father, so I'll just get real. My father was not around when I was growing up. He was military, all that kind of stuff, but also just not present, you know. And I wanted to have a connection with him, so he lived down there, and I was going through a hard time in Ohio, so I just moved down there. And I have half siblings, a younger brother and a younger sister. I feel like I've told you about them, but I really wanted to know them because I just felt the importance of being in their lives, and through that I got to like just connect with my father in a different way.
So what happened in Ohio to make you do that? Well, first, before we even get there, like, tell us about growing up in Ohio. Like, I know LeBron James. I know Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of Ohio. The Cleveland Browns, I think of them, Nick Chubb. Shouts to Nick Chubb. I hope you're okay. But I think of these people when I think of Ohio. But also, like, whenever I seen, like, videos of Machine Gun Kelly and stuff like that out there, it seems very spread out.
Ooh. It's Machine Gun Kelly. No offense to him, but really, I'm not a fan.
Oh, why not?
I think he just has a bad attitude. Like, there's this aura about him that's just not right to me.
It's not hidden.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's cool. I don't know him for real, so it's okay.
Illuminati type guy. Him and Megan Fox. I don't know. That's a different story.
That's a different story. We did not come here for politics.
I don't know. Ohio, there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful, vibrant people in Ohio.
Okay.
But living in so many different cities, like at this point already in my life, do you not want him to
No,
be
he's
near
totally
you?
cool.
He's fine?
No, I'm
okay.
cool with cats. I love cats. I'm just kind of, I don't know, I am being a little awkward sitter right now, but if you guys are watching, you can see I look so awkward, but I'm working on it.
I'm comfortable in my own spot.
Yeah,
It's
look
a
comfortable.
different, like your energy's not in this place, you know, except for yourself. Well, did you see that cloud again? Yeah. Every city to me though is like so different and yet so similar to each other. They just like they're mirrors of each other. Like living in Alabama, which is so southern, and then being in Chicago is just such a different, but it's like people are still people, and it's the same. You still see the homelessness, you still see poverty and how it affects different areas, and like there's different similar people that you meet everywhere, you know?
Yeah, it's like there's like a shaman everywhere you go, like a church everywhere you go.
Yes.
I get what you're saying. There's a type of character everywhere you go. There's a demographic of some sort
Yes.
everywhere you go, and they kind of all do mirror. Even if they talk slightly different, their culture is still shared.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just humans living life, and regardless of where it is, like it does mirror each other.
Yeah, it's just a
in one way.
regional difference in a way, like where the twang would go off a little bit.
Yeah.
Or the way they wear their clothes might be off a little bit.
I'm like trying, because people at work always make fun of me.
They do?
They say I have the Alabama accent. So So I'm trying real hard not to like slip into that.
Well, man, if you live somewhere for a year, I mean, if you chill around a person for like 2 weeks, like if you chill with them every day, 2 weeks, like you'll start talking like them and moving like.
And I would just always talk like this when I was living down there because it's just so fun to me. It really is.
I love that for you. So talk something about your like upbringing. How did you come up? Did you come up alone? Like, was you just the only child, or just your mom? Did you grow up with your grandparents? Like, how did that go?
Yeah, it was my mom. My mom had me when she was 17, so she was young. She was just a baby, like coming. So she raised me and my younger brother, and it was just her for the longest time. So.
Okay. And how was that for you?
It was.
Was it hard? Did you notice it? Did she like keep things out your eye view, so you never, were you guys struggling, were you guys well off? Like, tell us about it.
My mom worked her butt off. She had such a hard work ethic because my father didn't pay child support. He wasn't really like, upkeep of a child whatsoever. Like he wasn't around for any of that. So it was my mom doing everything. And her being so young, it was like, she just had a lot of turmoil in her own heart that would come out, especially with my younger brother and I. And my relationship with her is so different now, but yeah, it was definitely, I think for any person that is doing something as big as caring for a child on their own in whatever capacity, it's going to be something that's intense because you're trying to uplift another human being and teach them what life is, like what's right, what's wrong,
So was it just like you and your sister kind of raising each other most of the time because your mom was always working?
Yeah.
Because I had that experience too. My mom was a single mom with like 4 kids, and it was always like the oldest one is always taking care of the younger ones. And we only really see her on Sundays, and then she sleep the whole time because she's tired as fuck from working. So we probably see her for like the first 4 hours of the morning when she makes breakfast. And then after that, you just go back to the regular routine, kind of raised by the TV, kind of raised by everything else. Doesn't make them bad parents, but you do miss out on a lot of your childhood and that connection. And it's crazy as you get older and you start to recognize their struggle for real. It's what kind of pulls you in closer to them. And you kind of like...
Once you grow up, because you can see it from more of... You start making those mistakes that they made.
Yeah, you're like, oh, shit.
And just having a bigger understanding of the world, Yeah,
so would you say you had a good childhood? Or do you
I would
remember
say
it?
I'm grateful to be alive, and I'm grateful for every experience that I've experienced. I wouldn't take anything back.
I love that.
I wouldn't say it was good or bad. It's just what it was.
Okay, you just had to roll with the punches.
Yeah, they came and they sure came.
I love that, man. I feel like that's a grateful way to look at it. I feel like a lot of us like have so much to say, but for you to just be like, man, I'm just grateful that I'm here, means like there's no bad blood for you.
It's
like
an
just
everyday
like
process.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
How was high school for you? Did you go to high school in Ohio?
Yeah.
What school was it?
It was Theodore Roosevelt High School. I don't know. I shaved my head my junior year.
Like Brittany? You went for long Brittany?
Like Brittany, yeah.
Wait, how did you get there?
I
love when I have these podcasts with people because they just skip to like, oh, I just fucking jumped off a bridge. It's like, bro, well, how'd you get on the bridge in the first place? I went through some, I don't know how authentic I should be, What do you mean? No, that's the point of it.
Yeah.
Be as vulnerable as you feel comfortable being, though.
Just went through some sexual stuff that was like, kind of rocked my world and put me in this space of just feeling like that my only worth was my physical being and feeling like people only saw me for that a lot of times. And I was taken advantage of and treated really wrongly in different periods of my life. And doing that, like releasing my hair was such a spiritual thing for me because it was like, I'm more than my hair. I'm more than the makeup that I put on my face, the clothes that I put on my body. It's so much more profound than that. Everything
Yeah,
about every person.
Facts. So cutting off your hair was a way to be like, if this is all you guys see me as, then fuck it. I'm gonna show you I'm more than that.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's almost like Erykah Badu in that one video where she just like kind of strips on her clothes.
Yes. What video is that?
I don't know if is it window seat. I don't know.
It probably is.
I'm not sure. She's just like naked through the streets and shit. But I feel like that was her way of being like, you know, just to kind of freeing herself of all those things. Like I am more than this.
Yeah.
And so what did that do for you? Did it do what you wanted it to do? Is this connected to your phone? Could you pause it?
Yeah.
I'm afraid that we're gonna get hit. Because at first there was no words, but I was afraid we're gonna get hit with like some copyright or something if there's words on it.
Oh, no words?
No, just it's okay. Leave it out.
Okay.
Thank you. Even though I really liked it, it was really cool. I'll find a way to cut it where they don't realize the music is gone. But,
okay. Yeah.
So what did that do for you? Cutting your hair, like did it serve its purpose? I feel like Doja Cat just recently did that too.
She did, yeah. She's baldy now.
Like for
baldy
that, I feel like she did it for that reason too, though. Because you're right, women get so. I think let me not just put it on women. I think humans overall get so subjected to like, you know, if you have this awesome body, the moment you lose it, now you lose worth. And it's like no, like you're not in love with my body. You like my body. You like who I am as a person. Because how many times have you met a person that's been beautiful and hit all these fucking things on the list of in the criteria that you like, right? But you just don't like who they are as a person.
Yeah.
Like I've sat down with many women, dated many women, and I'm like, she's pretty as fuck. Like her Instagram is really cool. Like I like the music she listens to, and then I sit down with her and she's fucking dull.
What is her spirit?
Or she's really fucking mean, or she's this, or she's that, or just a fucking racist overall. And it's like none of this is who you are or your worth or what you bring to the table.
And that all fades away because with life, you age. Your body is not permanent. That goes away.
Yeah.
He likes you.
That's the cutest thing ever.
I'm glad he's being good. I was worried about that. But beauty fades. And at the end of the day, that's not it's so weird about this world is because it's a physical world. We're in these physical bodies, but there's a spiritual channel that is always happening. You know, like right now something is going on spiritually within this conversation.
Yeah.
When the thoughts that you think, the words that you put out, that has a spiritual weight.
Facts.
But we're so caught up on what we can touch, what we can feel, what we can taste.
Tangible. Yeah,
yes.
We're not really worried about what we're feeling inside here.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people have a hard time trusting what's inside here because they think it's like something going on with them and something being fed to them, which it can go both ways easily. What was the reaction when you did that? When you came back to school with no hair, like...
I remember this.
Was it like...
This one guy said, she looks like a dude, but I'd still fuck her.
Wow. And did that set you
and
off?
a lot of... No, I mean, I was expecting
that's what you were trying to run away from, right?
Everybody was so curious. Like, it got a very, honestly, big reaction, which I was hoping it wouldn't.
Okay.
It honestly revealed kind of, like, parts of people I didn't recognize in some aspects, because it would... Like, people would treat you differently, treat me differently. And it was like, just because I have a bald head? I'm the same person.
Yeah, nothing has changed about me besides my appearance.
Yes, yeah. Same heart, same
joke, same laugh, same everything.
Yeah. So it's just funny how...
it almost seems
fickle.
like you... Yeah, fickle people are, but it almost seems
pickles.
like you were running away from attention and trying to, like...
I
find
guess
a way
that
to get
was
away from it.
possibly
kind of
too dramatic to not be like an attention thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. Like I always say it. Well, I don't always say it, but I just kind of like I feel like the thing you're most afraid of, you end up running right into, and you're trying to fix the problem so much that you end up making the problem bigger than it is. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to like put this, this fucking like tape on the bottom of a bucket that's leaking, and it just like keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
It seems like that might have been some of your experience.
Yeah. You can't run from things because they'll fester. They still live in your body.
Facts. So how did you deal with that entire like being subjected that way? Like you were only worth your body, you were only worth your sexual pleasures, you were only worth the hair on your head. You try to get rid of it. You try to, kind of strip yourself of quote unquote all this beauty, so people maybe stop looking at you that way and see you for who you are.
Yeah.
That turns into maybe more bullshit, maybe not in the greatest light. Now it's like, oh, she's this or she's that. So how do you deal with that process? Because your solution didn't seem to all the way work, and it might have put you in a darker hole. So is that something you're still dealing with and you had to deal with after, or
Absolutely.
can you talk about that process within it that kind of helps you get through it?
I would say it's I still definitely struggle with it. There's times where it's like I cope with it by subjecting myself.
What do you mean by that? Can you dig deeper?
Objectifying is the word that I really wanted. But by, I don't know, certain ways that I will act at times, or like how I'll portray myself, how I'll dress, it is kind of almost like putting myself out there and saying, fuck it, there is no value. And that's something that I've struggled with heavily. Like, it's something I've struggled with heavily. Because I don't feel beautiful sometimes, you know? And I think that when you're being violated and people are kind of putting stuff on you and you don't even feel right about yourself, comfortable in your own skin, and then somebody else comes into that space and either they say something or they touch you or they view you, it just becomes this like time warp of like... sort of a downward spiral if you already are not. Yeah, it almost like,
I don't know if
that made sense.
No, it definitely does. It seems like these dark things that you go through with yourself in the mirror start to be validated by these people who are objectifying you and making you feel shitty already. So it makes your experience 10 times worse.
Yes.
And at the same time, you're running away from that experience while having to face yourself at the same time. I can imagine how chaotic and scary that would fucking be.
Yeah.
That's shitty. That might have been like very lonely for you, huh? Did you have any good friends around that time, or was your sister or mother able to hold your hand through that?
Yes, yeah. My mom has always been really very protective. She has been my mother and my father in a lot of ways. So she took on that protective role that a father is generally supposed to be the one who holds, you know? And I had really good friends through that time as well that just were uplifting. And as much as I wanted to, like, spew out what I was going through, they were listening, and that's always something that's a blessing.
No, it's beautiful. You need that village of people to let you talk.
It takes a village.
No, facts. And I think that shit never ends at the end of the day. I mean, they say it takes a village to raise a child, but like, when do we ever stop being children?
It takes a village to raise an adult. Like, let's be real here.
You need those resources. Like, I think one of the top resources is like friendship and relationships in life. Like, you need somebody to talk to. You need somebody to laugh with. You need somebody to hold hands with. 100%. Like, the moment a person starts becoming lonely or feeling lonely, like, nothing tangible matters. Back to that, like, spiritual aspect you said. It's like, you can have all the money in the world and you can pay for anything you want, and we could be on jets back and forth, but if you got to be there alone, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Good or bad, it's not okay to experience anything alone. I'm glad you had people with that.
Me too.
Yeah. You keep saying comments about your dad. Ever since I met you, you've had these comments about your dad and your father and fatherhood. Yeah, you had. They slipped out here and there, like, oh, at least you're being a dad, or things of like, I don't know where my dad's at, or some shit. I don't know. And just now you said a couple things about your mom being your dad and not knowing him. Can you tell us more about that situation with him and your relationship with him and what you actually know about it, if you feel comfortable sharing so?
Yeah. I love my dad, and I have a relationship with him now, but it's me as a grown woman. Like, he did not raise me. He wasn't there when I was born. And that's not everything, obviously, but I just remember being really young. I was like 7 years old in elementary school still. And he would just dip out. He would go on these like drinking binges, drug binges, which obviously at the time my mom is protecting me from that. And her and my father would get into like physical altercations, and he would just disappear for really long periods of time. And I would just be like, where is he? What is he doing? And then he would show up again. And I think eventually my mom just said, you know, that's not okay. They can't, like, they don't know how to. So I would get in, like, fights in school. I was always getting in trouble because I would just miss my dad so bad, and I couldn't. At the time, it's hard being a child and not having your parent present for whatever reason. You can't understand, like, what it is about you, or I couldn't understand what it was about me that wasn't worth staying for.
Did you put that on yourself then?
Yes,
100%. Like, you felt like your dad didn't want you, like he was running away from you.
Yes.
It's interesting that you say that, because I was going to follow up with, like, everything you just said that you went through in high school. Like, did he have something to do with it, do you think? Like, the way you reacted to things and the way you were treated. And I guess it did have a clear effect on you.
I mean, nature versus nurture.
Facts.
Like, who I was born to be, but also how my
environment
shaped who I am and what that really looks like. So it definitely, I mean, I think I faced a lot of worth issues because I did put that on myself. I internalized that, and I wanted him around so badly. And only as an adult was I able to, like, cope with it better, and then be able to come back and have a relationship with him and recognize, like, this person is not going to give me my worth. This person is not going to give me everything I need. And I think that's just a part of what love really is. It's just the acceptance of, like, nobody's gonna fill
that hole inside.
Yes, because it's present in every person. And what we all want is that unconditional love, to feel that, to be a part of that.
And you only really get that from your parents, so when you miss out on that, you look for it in everybody else, but it does not exist.
No, it doesn't.
It will never, because the moment, you know, if me and you were in a relationship, the moment you stop meeting my needs, and, like, I'm going to lose love for you, I'm going to lose presence
Absolutely.
for you. Maybe I won't lose love for you, maybe I still love you, but I won't be present with you, I won't want to be here with you.
Yeah.
So do you think, like, your dad leaving you that way, it pushed you to look forward in every other man and every other thing through high school? Were you forcing yourself into, like, groups and clubs? Were you trying to be a part of different social groups, different women, different guys? Were you subjecting yourself to maybe some of that trauma and abuse that you kind of hint at now, just because you wanted to feel accepted and loved unconditionally, even if it wasn't real, but it felt that way?
Honestly, no. I feel like the people that I connected with in high school, that I really connected with, were people that it was just divinely timed, where it was just meant to be, people that healed me in a lot of ways, and just taught me what a relationship really is and what it looks like, you know. And I wouldn't say I necessarily was, like, looking for it in men, you know. Definitely to an extent there was, like, yearning for acceptance, you know.
That's why I said, like, social clubs and groups, because I feel like a lot of times, even when we're not loved at home, I mean, like, in Chicago, that's what causes us to go to the streets and stay out longer and be with people you don't need to be around, because just having that laughter and that pat on the back and just having somebody to be like, man, come on, ride with us, is better than coming home to nothing. You know what I mean?
That's so relevant.
But that's why I said social clubs, I mean, anything, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times I think it does subject us to, like, love that isn't good for us, because even the slightest bit of love that feels like anything will make us feel a piece of that love that we were missing, no matter how toxic and terrible it was for us. And that's why I asked that question. You talked about, they taught you what a relationship was. What is a relationship for you? What would you say that is, if you could define it?
I think a relationship is the intention to uplift someone spiritually.
Well, wouldn't that be with anybody? Like,
yeah.
Because I feel like I walk around every day with them, but I don't, like, have their number.
What kind of relationship are we talking about? Just, like, a general...
Just a relationship. Just, you know, just a relationship.
Consistency, definitely. Like, honesty is a big thing.
Facts.
But I think it always looks different within every capacity, you know?
Every capacity, every person.
Yes.
Like you said, like, the places we live mirror each other, but it looks different everywhere you go.
Yes,
you can compare
exactly.
that to people, too.
Absolutely.
Nah, facts. So, we're here. we're genuinely here because we Alexa play Pony. That's funny as fuck. But you asked me this random question at work one day, and you were like, how do you know if a man is being faithful? And I thought that was like the craziest question ever, because I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, 'cause, like, a guy could be treating you like absolute shit but still be faithful, and a guy could be treating you like you're the only person in the world but not be faithful.
Yes.
You know, and I think it's very, like, you just never know until you know. And I don't think you ever actually know at the end of the day. You know, you really have to be in somebody's phone 24/7, with them 24/7, like, in every corner with them all the time to really, like, be like, this person is faithful to me. So a piece of it, I think that's why it's faithful, because you have to have faith in this person in some type of way, right?
On both sides, yeah.
Yeah, and it sparked an entire conversation with us about relationships and love and all types of shit. And so I thought it would be a cool conversation to have on air.
Yeah.
And so my first question is, like, did you ever figure out if that guy was faithful to you or not? And are you guys still together?
We're not together anymore. Not together. And something I think about a lot is, like, intuition versus anxiety. Because I don't know, sometimes I have such a deep intuition and I can feel something and I can physically feel it in my body that something is going to happen or something did happen.
Yeah.
And maybe that sounds crazy, but I feel like I'm in touch. And if you allow yourself to be in touch with energies and the spirituality of life, then you can be.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the powers of the feminine energy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
for sure.
and I think that has to do with motherhood and that we women have wombs and carry children and create children. To raise a child, there has to be intuition.
Hella true. So
no, but so that was something I struggled with, was like, am I intuiting that this man is not being open and honest with me, or am I being so anxious because I don't all the way feel like I'm worth being faithful to?
Yeah, you did tell me it was a worth thing, which is crazy because that's something you've been dealing with since birth, huh?
Yeah, and believe it or not, like, a relationship really brings out the big fucking emotions. That shit makes you like, cool.
It triggers the fuck out of you. And I've seen it in a couple podcasts on a couple, like, you know, just mental health sites or whatever, that, you know, they always say, like, people always think relationships are supposed to be like this perfect thing, like they bring out the best out of you. But the truth of the matter is like they show your deepest, darkest wounds, and they trigger the fuck out of you.
They sure do.
and it helps you get better in that way. And I think people often get scared about that. I think people like drop people really easily and cycle through relationships really easily because it's like the moment you trigger me, the moment you open a wound, then you must not be good for me. But it's like, if you never tend to this wound, then it's going to get infected and it's going to continue to open with all these different people over and over and over again. Yeah. So you have to let somebody take the Band-Aid off and expect it sometimes, and you have to be able to talk about it. But I think that takes a certain amount of growth and a certain amount of relationships to go through, a certain amount of like maturity at the end of the day.
Yeah.
100%. So you never found out if he was faithful or not. You just decided, like, well, was it an anxiety attack? Were you like having? Know yet?
Well, so it was. We were together for quite some time, and I really, really loved him. And I definitely wasn't like the healthiest woman to be with. I could be very verbally unkind. Honestly, I could be very verbally unkind, and I would kind of okay it with myself because I was anxious. And there were times I found out that there were things being hidden from me. Yeah. And just that there was never like a, hey, this happened. Like, he didn't trust me enough to... He was probably being honest with you, but not transparent. Because, you know, honesty is... What do you mean by that? Honesty is, if I ask you what time you get off of work, you know what I'm saying, you tell me what time you get off of work. Transparency is you just telling me, hey, I get off of work today. So you're just telling me things like, hey, I ran into this dude on the bus today, or hey, this happened. Like, I don't have to ask you for it. Asking you something and you answer me honestly is honesty. Transparency is you just telling me what's happening without me having to ask. Exactly. And it was... So just not having that honesty, that transparency... Yeah. There, like, numerous times, it was just hard to kind of come back to a space where it was like, I trust you to be transparent about these type of things in the future. But I wanted to make it work, but I was so stuck in my own head that I didn't know how to put myself back in a place of such deep vulnerability with him.
Yeah, were they heavy things he was hiding from you? I just had a little run-in with my girl because she figured out some things from my past as well. It wasn't that I was hiding them. I think at the time that they happened, we weren't in the place that we were now. So I didn't feel comfortable enough to just share these things with her.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I was lying or hiding. At that time, I just felt like it was nobody's business.
Yeah.
It's mine to deal with. And I wanted to deal with it. And I didn't want to place it on nobody else. And I got my own anxiety issues and my own ways of feeling like I don't want to place that burden on people. So
Yeah.
I don't want to bring this to a date. I don't want to bring this to a night of watching movies. Like, I don't want to bring this up, but then you find it out later and it makes you feel like, well, damn, dude, you were lying to me or hiding something from me. So do you think it possibly could have been something like that, or was it just dead ass, like, big things like, bro, why would you not tell me that? Like, that seems silly to not even bring up.
So occasionally it was like, there was just one time where it really struck me and really, really, really hurt me. And I think it hurts any time especially when a person's just not open with you, because you just want to be respected.
Yeah, you just want to know. I just want to be a part of your life.
Yeah, I don't have to be everything, but if you're telling me that I am everything in that aspect, and then that's not the truth, then it's like, what are we doing here?
Facts. That's so interesting to me, man, because I feel similar. Like, I feel like in my relationship, being so in love, like, I want to be so involved in this person's life, and vice versa. But then we're both individual humans who just have this natural fear and insecurity that we already built over time, and some of it has been built in a relationship. So sometimes you just feel uneasy or uncomfortable speaking up about things. There's a couple things that she's went through in the day, and I don't figure out till 2 days later or a week later. I'm like, why the fuck did you not tell me that? And I catch myself being upset, and then I'm like, you know what? This was like really deep to her. She didn't feel like talking about it. She wasn't there yet. Now she's talking to you about it. So ease up. But it's like, a piece of me does feel like, yo, I want to be there for you. Let me be there for you. Then I think about all the things that I stomach and I don't say. And there's a reason why, because I'm maybe too triggered to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe I feel like you're not the person to talk about it right now because you just had like a long ass day. You're sleepy. I really need to be heard and received right now. I don't feel like you can. So I'm not going to say anything. And there's so many different things that go in between that. But it does feel so shitty when you're not, like, being involved that way. It's a tricky place to be in, I feel like.
Yeah, you want that connection.
Yeah.
Especially with that person that you're being intimate with.
100%. And I think there's just a time and place for everything, maybe, and everything shouldn't be taken so personal. But I definitely do take it that way. I definitely be hurt, especially when I know, especially if I know, like, social media or 3 other people know before me. Because now I feel like, oh, I wasn't that important to you, you know what I'm saying? Like that, nobody knows, then fine. You clearly weren't cool to talk about it. Maybe you went to a parent or something or a therapist or something, and I'm even cool with that. But, like, if a couple people know before me, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Then you're right, what are we doing here? So I definitely can relate to that. I get it. Do you, would you say you have trust issues? And if so, why do you think you have them? Where do you think they come from?
I think my trust issues comes from the fact that I personally am innately selfish.
Tell us more about that.
I've lived my life as me, and everybody lives their life in their respective bodies, experiencing Rio experienced what Rio saw, and what you grew up with, what you were told, what you saw. Every individual experience is so intricate, so perfectly intertwined, to make everybody view things. And I'm no perfect person, So if I know that about myself, it's hard to all the way put that faith in somebody else. But, like, along the same vein, that should make you more me, the proverbial you. More
emphatic to other people's experiences.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the word. Seriously.
Nah, I definitely was listening to you and feeling that the same way. I think I try my best to move that way. I think that's why it's a gift and a curse. It puts me in places where people feel received and like they have enough chances where they could make right and we can finally get to a common ground. But sometimes it puts me in situations and relationships where I get the short end of the stick and I end up being the one abused or thrown under the bus.
So
having too much space for people.
Along with that, kind of piggybacking, like, what do you feel? When do you feel it's like time to remove yourself from a situation? Like, when do you say, okay, it's time for me to step back? Because
well, it's funny.
It's not.
Yeah, I'm getting better at that now, and I think I had to go through a really shitty situation to really realize how much space and time people deserve. Like, in my last relationship, when my worst relationship possible, I think I gave that person way too much of me and way too much space and time to get things right. But I think, in a way, I was so emphatic about it because I was also giving myself space and time to get things right. And I think I get so caught up in what I felt and how lonely I could have been and how close I was to bridges that I don't ever want anybody to feel like me. So I want as much patience as I think I need. And so I give and give and give these chances over and over and over again until I got to a place where I was no longer myself. And I was harming myself and I was harming that person and I was harming everybody around me. And it hit me to a place where you hit this rock bottom and you hit it so hard that you kind of wake up and you're like, how the fuck did I get here? This is not me. This is not it. Your life kind of flashes before your eyes. Like, if I stay here, this is where I'll end up. But this is what I really wanted in life. So it's like you have a crossroad moment in your life where it's like you decide this and you power through this and maybe it could be something cool, or maybe you guys would just keep digging this hole. Or you let it all go, you take your time to heal and you climb out that hole. By yourself. And I think after going through that situation, it's made it a lot easier to kind of see things for what they are. I think before I was a little delusional, and because I think I place myself on people too often. I think I see myself like I'm such a good person. I'm such a loving person. I'm such a, we got this. We're gonna try again. I'll never let you go type of person.
You're harmonic.
And nobody, everybody isn't that person. And it's hard for me to weed it out, but I think that situation has made me a little jaded, a little paranoid to the point where I still have that heart. Like, I've made that ode and that promise to myself and God that I will not let nobody make me lose my heart and my love for people and my empathy for people. I'm always gonna be out here trying to do the Lord's work and take care of people. But I only go as far as I actually can afford. In that situation I was going past my means. Now it's like
bankrupt, yeah.
Yeah, now it's like I am really focused on how much energy and time I actually have, money included. There's some people in my life that I'm just not doing that well, and they hit me up week to week for some money. And it's like I was giving them money I didn't have, and now I'm like, I really can't do that anymore. I got too much shit on the way, so now I know when to say no, I guess. And now I know. If we're having this conversation 3 times in a row and I gave you 3 different solutions and I know all you want to do is complain about this, it's like I only have so much time and space to give energy, you that. Yeah, so I just did a very roundabout way to answer your question. But I think when it's enough when you start losing pieces of yourself and giving things that you can't afford, even though I don't think you should even get that far. But it's something I'm still working on and still trying to come to terms with, because some people are worth it, some people are not. Some things are worth it, some things are not. Some jobs are worth it, some jobs are not. It's like how much of, if I'm coming into this place where I'm coming into this situation and I feel dark and gross and not myself every time, then that's too expensive. My soul, my happiness is too expensive. No matter how much you mean to me, I can't let go of me again for somebody else. So that's kind of when I know to let go of this job, this situation, this person.
I like what you said too, just when it comes to a point where you're harming yourself or you're harming them or you're harming other people for the sake of whatever emotionally, physically, whatever is going on with that circumstance.
Yeah.
That's a good time to say, I'm going to step back because this isn't right for...
Facts. And it goes for everything. It goes for substances. It goes for jobs. It goes for anything, really. Like, once this is absolutely not working for me, then I shouldn't be doing it no more.
Then you need to take a step back.
Definitely. And really...
And learn how to set your boundaries.
Yes.
And places that cross them, people that cross them are not for you, you know?
Yeah, and I think that situation and just like my last 3-4 years of life have taught me that setting boundaries is really a form of love, right? I think it's like, hey, I want you in my life. I want to do this with you. I want to be your friend. I want to be your boyfriend. I want to be these things. But this is bothering me. So I'm telling you about this because I want you to be here. If I didn't care about you, I would just kind of ghost you and not tell you and just act different. But me actually speaking up on his boundaries is a form of love and saying, hey, I want you here. Can you please respect me? And when people, I noticed when I started doing that, a lot of people just stopped fucking with me in general. I was a diva. I was too much. I was too sensitive. I was this. I was that. And it was like, just admit that you don't want to respect my boundaries. Yeah. And we can move on.
Because how can you say that to somebody, oh, you're too sensitive, when they're just trying to bring something to light?
And to keep you here, though. Not to push you away, just to keep you here.
Yeah, so that it's more amicable.
Yeah, because I don't want to be here.
And you want to expect them to do the same thing when the time comes. Because you know you're going to twinkle toe over the boundaries sometimes, right? Day. Nobody's perfect.
I'll be hopscotched over people's boundaries. Like, for real. I know I do. I'm a very outspoken, weird, always in people's space type of person. So all I got to do is let me know. Too. You know what I'm saying? Like, low-key, I just... I work at the gym, and this guy I work with, and he was fucking on a treadmill, and I went over there. Like, I barely know this guy. Like, we just started working together. But I was just being goofy, and, like, there's an emergency stop button on the treadmill, so I stopped it on him. And he was like, what the fuck, bro? That wasn't even funny. And I walked off laughing, and then I thought about it. I'm like, damn, he probably, like, really took that to the heart. Like,
yeah, so he didn't think that was funny.
Yeah, right?
Because imagine that was you on the treadmill. You're like, man.
He's like, I was trying to count my calories, man. What the fuck? And I'm like, I could have easily been like, man, bro, you being a crybaby, just start over. Like, you know what I mean? But I went back, and I was like, my bad, bro. Like, I didn't mean anything by it.
But that's the harder thing to do in every circumstance, is be able to take a step back and be like, oh, I might have been wrong. Yeah. Like, even if I didn't intend that to be that way, it came off like that, or that's how you perceived it.
Intentions don't matter, I realize.
Yeah, and who are you to tell somebody that they perceived something wrong?
Yeah, and that's a huge conversation I think a lot of people need to have with each other. Like, I forgot, I wish I could pull it up on my phone, but my homie just had, he's been going through a weight loss journey and, like, just been in the gym, and we're all very proud of him, but he posted like a growth, like 3 months apart picture in the group chat. And I made a joke because he was frowning in both of them. I was like, why you so
upset? Where's the smile?
Yeah, like, you just lost pounds, so you should be happy. But I was just joking about that. But for him, it felt like, like, bro, like, how could you take something that was so important and awesome for me, and, like, make fun of it. And I was like, dude, I was just joking, but I recognize my intentions have nothing to do with your experience. You know what I mean? That's truly what it's about. Like, it doesn't matter your intentions. It doesn't matter if it was a joke. I don't care if you were just playing.
Sometimes trying for a laugh will get you in trouble.
Oh, every day. That is my life, man, every day. And I try to be a lot more careful. My therapist always tells me to think before I speak. But sometimes it's just like, I can't let this go. I got to say this out loud.
Yeah, you ever feel like
most of the time.
your brain, like, disconnects from, like, you don't always think about what you're going to say. It just sort of comes out.
It goes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that comedic stand-up you were talking about.
Yes.
I feel like that, like, we all have that in us, and I always wanted to do comedy for that reason, because I'm just so quick on my toes with a joke. Like, that's so funny. Like,
just cracking on people in the audience.
Yeah, but then you say
with the glasses, you look like a fool. You look like somebody's grandpa.
Facts. And then, you would never hurt somebody's feelings, man. Nobody really supposed to do that at all.
No.
Jesus. This is why I wanted to do this podcast with you, because, like, now we're completely off topic. We're like an hour in, and I completely forgot from where the fuck we were at.
We stopped in.
No, we were talking about trust issues, though, and it sounds to me like a big piece of your trust issues can come from the lack of trusting yourself.
Yes.
And I think
beautiful way to phrase that.
Yeah, and I think that's the same thing with confidence too, right? Like, I think you lose confidence, and when you can't depend on yourself, you lose confidence, and people lose confidence in you.
Yes.
And when you stop showing up for yourself, like, if you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, no bullshit, and then you don't make it and you do that for 3 days straight, people kind of feel that energy off of you. Like,
They
if
sure
you don't
do.
depend on you, then why the fuck would I depend on you?
Yeah.
And if I can't trust me, why the fuck would I trust you? It's okay. and that's the whole thing. And I think that's a big piece of where trust issues come from. I think it kind of starts there. Or it starts from, like, you know what I mean? A lot of us in the city, you know, grew up without a certain parent, where it was the mom or the dad, and always being told, like, oh, I'm gonna come get you, and they never come get you, and you just sit at the window, and now you don't trust, like, your dad, now you can't trust another person, and so on and so forth, and it just goes down the line, and I think it affects you so fucked up.
Yeah, but that's why it's so important to be autonomous and to have that groundedness, be rooted within yourself, be rooted with something that doesn't have to do with other people, you know, whether that be music or spirituality, you know, whether that be the divine creator. It's all about definitely autonomy, because nobody will ever come up 100%, you know?
Yeah, they never can. And I realize in relationships that's a thing too. I think we put a lot of pressure on our partner to always be dependable, to always show up, to always wake up on time. It's like, no, like, that's never going to happen. And I'm not always going to be this beautiful, awesome guy that you met that night, or this awesome date that we had. Like, one day I'm going to be shitty. Like,
sometimes I'm going to be super vibrant, sensual, and sometimes I'm going to be a bitch.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to want to touch you.
And I can't help it.
Yeah, it's not going to be right. And it's about making up that 80-20 for your partner, you know, like, one day you're 20%, I gotta bring the other 80, and vice versa. And I think that's when you know you're really compatible and click with somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that can come with, like, romantic relationships and regular relationships.
Yes, for sure.
100% all the way through. How do you think trust issues have hindered you the most in your relationships, or has it been something else? Whether it's been friendship or romantic, platonic or romantic.
I would say yes, in the sense that the way that I often react to it is just not reflective of, like, the kind of lover that I want to be, you know, in every aspect, like how I lead my everyday life, you know, how I carry myself. And especially with the more intimate relationships, I feel like that brings out a side of me that is so much more volatile. Because I have a lot of anger that I'm working to resolve, you know, but that with my last relationship, I think that was a really big problem, was I could just be very selfish, very volatile, and ungrateful, like, for the days where he was 20% and maybe I needed to be 80, you know? So I would say definitely.
Yeah, I think it's crazy because I feel like I've been so, I hate to keep using the word delusional because I don't feel delusional about it. I feel more so just like caring and believing in people. I've been that, like, my entire life. Like, I never really thought if somebody was doing me dirty. Like, I never even, that's never even been my thought until I seen it. Yeah, until I actually seen it. And it's crazy because I feel like these last events that happened in my life has made me so much more, got so much more anxiety. I'm so much more, like, paranoid about everything. And now I don't trust anything, because when you put that much into a person and decide to tell yourself that they're going to be everything that you are to them, and then you realize they're not, that just breaks down your trust for everybody and everything in your life.
It really is, and very harmful.
Yeah, you move differently now. And I kind of hate that I gave people that much power, and, like, they did that to me, because now I can't be my same loving self anymore. Like, I want to give people chances. I want to move around that way. But, like, now I find myself being crazy over weird things. Even in my relationship now, I'm like, why am I questioning weird shit?
Yeah.
Like, it's just
hard
weird.
not to, because sometimes stuff just knocks your confidence and your knowledge of how to, like, love yourself the best way, how to take care of yourself. Because maybe you're so focused on making it work with the person. You get so wrapped up in them, us, that it's like the you drops off, you know, and you're just kind of left with questions and, like, maybe confusion. when there's never going to be that straightforward answer
Ever.
about anything
Facts.
or with anyone. So it's like, yeah, you just really have to stay grounded.
Which is the hardest thing ever. And I think it also, like, those trust issues come from, like, watching other people, right? Like, we always had
Our
those
parents,
friends.
yeah.
We always had those friends
Those
that was
friends,
doing
those
people
parents,
dirty.
yeah.
And the TV and media and all types of shit. You start to be like, damn, like, I wonder if my person doing that. Or
Yeah.
I wonder if
And
this is right
there's
for me to do.
something I think about is like I don't know how many women there are on this planet, but there's, 100,000 women with bigger tits, bigger butts, tighter whatever, and smaller noses, prettier face. So it's like there will always be somebody who has something better than you or worse than you.
True.
And I think part of being human is, especially in this culture, people want the next thing, the next best thing.
Yeah, they're
they
always
want
looking to see what grass is greener instead of being grateful for what they have right
Yes, absolutely. And I think that makes it real hard because we do see a lot of that modern day unfaithfulness, and there's not relationships aren't as sacred as they used to be.
Yeah.
Or maybe they've never truly,
Maybe they never truly were. That's deep to think
I'm
about.
sure there are sacred relationships. There are. But
I would hope so. I mean, I feel like I got a couple of them, whether they've been platonic or romantic. Like,
yes.
I would like to believe my relationship is very sacred and faithful and beautiful and awesome. Regardless of, whatever argument comes through, like, that shit just comes with life with the new person.
It does.
I would like to think that. I believe it. I tell myself to believe it every day. I kind of walk myself through it.
You have to.
Yeah, and I think it's also very important that, like, when you're not feeling that way, you have to bring that to your partner or your friend or whoever it is and be like, yo, I'm feeling this way, like, what's going on? And ask for that reassurance. I think we're really scared to ask for reassurance these days because we feel like that's a burden, or you seem crazy, or you're just insecure. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's just dealing with unhealthy people before that gaslit you through these situations to make you feel shitty about just having feelings. When really, like, a person that loves you and cares about you wouldn't mind making you feel better about a situation.
And they shouldn't, yeah. And you shouldn't.
No, facts. All the way through.
Everybody just needs upliftment.
Upliftment.
Sometimes they just,
Oh my God. I'll continue on the relationships a little bit and the trust issues even. Have you ever cheated? Yeah, random question. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yes, I have.
Yes, you have. Tell us about it. Why do you think you did it?
At the time in my relationship, I was just... what just happened?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the best way I can be. I did not feel that the person I was with at the time, that he really was... We had just been through a lot of up and down, very intense stuff together. And I did not feel like he really even wanted to be around. So I was just kind of like, well, if you don't want it, then, like, somebody else does. And I kind of wanted for him to see that. And it was so petty. It really was, and I regretted it, like, really terribly. Yeah. Not where I wanted.
Like, the moment you did it, you felt bad? Like, the moment the deed was done, you were like, why the fuck did I just do that? Or did it take a couple days?
Yeah, I remember I got back in my car and I just cried because I was like, man, you are so afraid of this happening to you, like, and you just did that to somebody. Like, who am I? What am I doing here?
Facts. I'm actually really happy that I'm happy that you had that response, because I always feel shitty about my cheating experience because I did not have that response at all. I think I was just so caught up in trying to be somebody that I wasn't.
Yes.
I was young. I was in high school, and I probably had the best thing at the time for me. I probably, like, had what everybody needed, like, just a dope person that was gonna support me through all the bullshit. And I just took advantage. I took a completely
That was
advantage
like
of the
10
situation.
years ago, though. What?
Yeah, but it's still, yeah.
No, but you still feel...
No, not 10 years. Yeah, 10 years ago. But no, it's still, to this day, I think it still affects me on my trust issues, right? Because, like, that goes back to not trusting myself, you know what I'm saying? And also, like, if I look at myself as this upscale person who's so emphatic and cares about people and would never harm anybody, and I did that, you know what I'm saying? Back to what you were saying, it's like, who's to say somebody couldn't do it for me? And I think it kind of like elevated that it kind of started that trust issue and that anxiety for me. But I didn't have that response to it.
It definitely makes it worse when you're, if you've stepped out and then,
Yeah, no, I mean, I got my closure on it. I said my apologies for it, but I didn't feel that until later. That's the crazy part. Like, when it was happening, when it was going on, like, there was no drop in my stomach. There was no anxiety in my heart. There was no care in the world.
And that's what scares me, is that it's almost too comfortable. It's too easy to just lay down with somebody.
Facts.
And that's what scares me, is that you can just be so, like...
So in love with this person.
Yes,
so, like,
and that doesn't, it really didn't take away from my love for him. I loved him maybe more after that, you know, because I was like, oh, this is a person that I really do want. And it sucks that I, you know, did that, but it is easy to make that decision in that moment, because obviously you're with somebody else, you're vibing, you have a connection, whatever.
The moment kind of strikes and
then
like,
it passes, and there's...
Yeah.
What scares me is that somebody could do that, though, and just, like, feel no type of way about it.
That's what scared me, too. And that's why I had to reevaluate my entire ideal of myself. Like, am I who I say I am? You know what I mean? Like, am I what I tell, you know, my friends or these women that I'm dating, or the things I say in my song, or the mantras I say in the mirror? Am I
carrying myself the way that...
Yeah, and it really fucked with me, but it didn't fuck with me until later. I think it hit me later when, like, I think it only hit me when I actually lost the person, and when I started to feel this loneliness, and when I started to, like, actually grasp how much they loved me and how much I'm losing and what I lost it for. I was like, it was this tiny little moment. Like, it's crazy how, like, everything you love wasn't even in your head in this tiny little moment. And
10 bricks on one side and a pea on the other.
Facts. And
for
you come
instant
back,
gratification.
You go through this trance and you come back and you're just like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, that's just some silly ass shit.
Yeah.
And that shit really fucks with you, man. Do you still feel bad about it? Are you over it? Have you forgiven yourself for it?
I definitely think the relationship in general, I definitely feel bad for it. But I'm trying to not feel so bad for it and just take that and be like, okay, what can I actually do to be successful and to be healthy? And somebody that's not inflicting pain on anybody like that. Like, what do I need to do to get right with me so I could, yes.
Nah, facts. Because, I mean, for you kind of had a reason. You know, for me, I didn't really have a reason.
Yeah.
Like, everything was perfect and cool. Like, there was no reason for me to do that shit.
Yeah.
I was just in the midst of the moment trying to be cool with the homies, and that shit wasn't cute at all. It was lame as fuck. But I definitely forgave myself for it. And also got to genuinely apologize for it too and be real about it, because, you know, even when you get caught up in something like that, you still lie about it. Yeah. And I actually got to really, like, strip myself of that and just be like, yeah, that's what happened. I just want to say sorry about it, and, like, everything smoothed over pretty well. I'm not regretful necessarily, because I don't think it was supposed to last to begin with. I think we have a lot of moments in life where it's like, this is something I need forever, but it's not from the person you need it from, it's the feeling you're looking for. And I feel like I found that in a much mature way, in a much more way I was able to receive it and give it. And I think I had to make these mistakes to become the person I am today. Now I know I would never do that. Now I'm mature enough to go to my partner and be like, hey, I'm feeling this way, and I want to figure out how to deal with this.
That's how I am. Like, I have to learn by putting myself in this situation sometimes. Yeah, to know that it's hot. That shit's gonna burn you.
Facts. And I think that's my kiddish ways, because I feel like my whole life I've always just like had to like parents be like, don't do that, it's gonna hurt you, and I'm like, no.
Oh, watch me do it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know shit. Let me go touch this, and then it fucks up your whole life.
But I've already been there. I just walked that same path 15 years ago.
Yeah, and now I know for sure I'm always gonna listen to my elders, and I hope like I try to talk to my little brother, I try to, mentor my nephew and shit like that, and I hope they listen to me and take something that I say, and I hope it sticks to them, because I don't care if this person is only 2 years older than you. They know something that you don't know, and experiences
Even
like
people younger than you, though. People of all different walks of life have something to.
Because I think experience outweighs years sometimes. Like what somebody experiences in 16 years could be way more broad than what somebody experiences in 36 years.
Yeah, 57, baby. Sometimes you meet way older people and I'm just like, man, the disconnect. Like, what was your upbringing like? I just want to be in your brain for 25 seconds so I can understand why you feel that way.
No, and that's kind of who I am 24/7, but it's a big piece of why I started this too. Like, I just want to kind of pick people's brain apart. Like, why are you here? What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And why are you speaking to me right now? Like, why does your soul speak to me? I want to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Do you ever think there's a justification for infidelity, cheating, in any type of way? Do you ever think it's justified? Do you ever some people believe in cheating back? Some people believe in like, oh, this person's been so bad to me, or like, why should I even be faithful to this person? Is there ever a justification, or do you think it's like always bad no matter what the situation is and you should just leave?
I think it is something that can be healed with a person. If you truly want that and they truly want that, it can definitely be healed. I wouldn't say it's justified, though. I feel like that's like popping somebody in the lip and then just being like, but you just called me a pig, so.
That's what I mean, that type of shit. Like, do you believe it's ever okay to cheat? Ever okay? You
could justify anything. You could say anything is okay. For me personally doing that, it's never okay, because to me, when I'm saying, oh, I want to be with you, like just us, that I'm making a promise to that person. And if I'm stepping out of the bounds of that, how can I justify it when I made a promise?
Facts. No, facts. So what do you think about redemption then? Like, you were just going into that. What does redemption mean to you? What does that word mean to you? If you could define it for you, how do you feel about it? What does it mean?
Honestly, I think there's nothing I can do or anybody can really do to heal the wrong that they've put into the world.
So redemption doesn't exist then to you?
It does, but it's so much more, like, yes, it's what you can do to fix that, but once you've done something, I feel like
it doesn't go away.
Sort of.
You can't make up for it. I feel like a lot of it isn't on you. Like, I feel like a lot of redemption comes from the other person. Like, all you can do is apologize and then show change behavior, and like, depending on what it was, like, maybe you can shower this person with love and affection the best you can for the next 2 months, just to let them know how serious you are. But at the end of the day, all I can do is apologize, not let it happen again. And I think that's the fucked up part about doing people wrong, is like, you put so much shit onto them that they now have to carry. They now have to heal from that. Yeah. You can't heal them from that. They have to do that themselves a lot. It's like, it's their work they have to do, and they have to decide if they want to let you redeem yourself. And even if they let you, it's like, you can, I've been in that situation before where, like, I done went 3 months trying to make things right, and it's just like, they're just like, bro, I just can't see you the same. Like, it's just not gonna hit the same for some reason. I just can't let this go.
Yeah, it's hard to. So if you really want to, but I don't know, when I think about redemption, like, that's just such a big, profound word, and it has a lot of weight to it in a lot of different ways.
Do you think it's worth it, even trying redemption sometimes, based on what you just said? Do you think, like, you did something wrong, you're going to just take your L, say sorry, and then just leave that person alone? You're not even going to try to make it better? Maybe you just try to make yourself better, like you said before.
I definitely feel like I've been stuck in trying to make things better with people and just trying to let them know, like, listen, my brain, I'm not, like, I'll be the first to say that I can make mistakes and that I'm not always treating people the best. Like, holding relationships and holding people for what they are. And letting my own mental health get in the way of that at times. So I always want to like put that love out there and hope for it to be received and hope for it to be accepted. And always try to be better, always try to heal the broken things, the things that I have broken.
Yeah.
We should always try to be better.
I agree with that. And I think based on what you're saying, it sounds like redemption seems to be like a personal thing. Like it, because it's up to the person to allow you to do so, but it's really just like, damn, why the fuck did I do that? I need to go figure out my bullshit so I don't do that shit against anybody else.
Absolutely.
And I guess you can only redeem yourself within yourself and kind of like take that to the next person sometimes or the next situation, because if that person's not available for you no more, that just is what it is.
Yeah, so you have to work on healing that within you. Yeah. Even if you're still with that person, you want to be with that person.
Oh yeah, forgiveness is key and acceptance is key all the way through. It's forgiving yourself is one of the hardest things I found myself doing. Like it is so hard. I'm still working on forgiving myself for things 10 years ago. Like still trying to be like, what the fuck? Like why would I do that? Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
And still having bad dreams about it sometimes. Also, even still being triggered within my own actions. Like I'm like, oh shit, I'm becoming this person again.
Yeah.
I don't like myself like this. Why am I becoming this way? And really becoming a recluse and locking myself in a room so I can't harm anybody and just harming myself in the process just to try to figure out
what's going on.
That builds even more shit to like hate myself.
It just snowballs. Yeah. It's a really. There's this list, and it just shows, like, the vibrations of emotions, feelings, and the lowest possible thing that you could feel is shame. Like, ashamed of yourself. Yes. And that is so profound to me, because it's something that I've dealt with, like what you were saying. You want to kind of close yourself off so that there can be nobody that's harmed in the way, but then it is, like, you just dig yourself deeper into this dark place of
fucking just darkness.
Disconnect.
And you come out like ashamed and not being able to look anybody in the eyes. Like your head's just down. And you ever I don't know if you ever see those memes, like those apology tours. Like, people like kind of become recluse for 2 weeks and don't talk to nobody. Then they come out and have to come back around and be like, my bad, I missed this. I was going through something with the band. Like I probably do an apology tour once a month.
Yeah.
I just be going. Like, bro, people be texting my phone. I literally look at it and just be like, all right, cool.
I just missed I think my younger sister turned like 7 years old on Saturday. And I forgot her birthday, so I gotta call her today. Apology to her.
Apology to her. And like honestly, I owe you an apology too, because that's part of the reasons why I've been fucking putting this podcast off for so long, because just locking myself in a room, not feeling like doing shit, fucking exhausted, or like just running into another plan and like having to work, and then that pisses me off and hurts my feelings, because like this is not what I'm passionate about. I don't want to fucking clean bathrooms. I don't want to go through this fucking podcast and have a spiritual conversation.
But it could be so hard to put your energy into, because what is the cost of energy? How much energy do you give certain things in your day? Like I give energy to work and to getting to work and to the people that I talk to while I'm there, before I'm there. And then you come back from all this, and it's sometimes hard to be in a creative headspace because you're in this different zone.
Yeah, that's why I've been focusing a lot on like my return on investment. Whatever I'm investing in, whether it be my time, money, or energy, what am I gonna get back for this?
Yes.
Because and that may sound a little like shallow or whatever, but it's important to protect your energy. Like that shit does cost a lot. It's very expensive. It's who you are, and just giving that shit anywhere and everywhere is not it. And you need space to be creative in the things that you're actually passionate about. Like if I went out here every day and just gave myself 100% to everything possible, by the time my girl gets home, then she gets the scraps of me. That's not fair. It doesn't seem like she's the priority here.
Yeah, it's learning how to delegate that time to like the hierarchy. What's good? What do I need? What do the people around me need?
Yes, and that's why shadow work.
And how can that stay balanced?
Shadow work and understanding yourself. Equilibrium. You ever seen that movie?
It's a movie?
It's a movie. It's an action movie with Tate Diggs and Christian Bale.
Okay.
It's actually pretty fucking sick.
I can rock with Christian Bale.
Christian Bale's the homie. Yeah, you gotta check that out. Do you think trust can be rebuilt?
Yes.
If so, how?
Yes, consciously, subconsciously.
But how do you do that? my idea of trust being rebuilt, right? Like, I feel like it depends, first of all, how the trust was broken. Right? Because, like, if I broke your vase, I don't think that would, like, break trust, right? But if I broke enough vases, you're, like, probably, like, next time Rio comes over,
I mean, if you threw a vase or you bumped a vase, yeah. But if you keep bumping them, I'm going to put them away.
Yeah, right? So now you don't trust me around your vases. Then how do I make you trust me again to bring these vases back out?
Sometimes I think it's a matter of the person. You know, if a person is revealing to you certain patterns, then at some point it's who a person really is and what they're really having to offer to you specifically. You know, in that time, in that space. I think trust has to be rebuilt in so many scenarios, like with my mother, with my brother. You know, I've broken their trust, they've broken mine. And it's different repairing blood trust sometimes because that's your blood.
Oh, yeah.
But the people around you that you choose to be around you, when they're continuously hurting you or you're continuously hurting them, it's something that really consciously, like, has to be... I'm still learning the answers to that myself. I'll have to be honest. Like, how to rebuild trust when I've given enough trust and enough is enough, and I need to take that back and trust myself.
True enough. I think, I guess in my experience, like, if you break the trust of someone, but there's never an opportunity to rebuild the trust. So, for example, the vases. If you never bring the vases back out, then how do you ever know if I'm going to break them again?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, the vases have to be put away for a while, but eventually, like, you have to be like, okay, this person has been here. They've been trying to be careful. I noticed Rio watching his step.
Yeah.
I noticed he's, not bumping the table. He's really looking at his feet. He's been very, like, less clumsy lately.
He's
right?
been light-footed.
Yeah, and, like, so now it's been 3 months. Let me bring the vases out and see what happens. I think we need to give people those chances to break vases again. And it sounds shitty and stupid. It sounds really dumb because you broke my trust enough. So why the fuck would I give you another chance? I'm not saying automatically do that. Of course not. Put the vases up for a while. But then at what point do you bring the vases out? And then at what point, because at what point does the person have the opportunity to show you that they're not going to break the vase again? If you never give them the chance to, like, like, people get cheated on or go through these experiences with people, and now it's like you can't go anywhere. Now it's like, I need the password to your phone, I need this, I need that. It's like, well, then how would you ever trust? You don't trust me, you just get to see everything. That's not trust. Like, you're not trusting me if you see exactly where I'm at every day. If I'm at home every day, then you don't trust me. You have to allow me to go outside to actually believe that I'm going to come home or that I'm not going to do something crazy.
It's hard, though, when people are deceitful.
Yeah. No,
and that's a real big thing for me is just dishonesty and, like, warping my perception of what's real and what's not real.
I guess that comes back down to, like, healing within yourself and them forgiving themselves and trying to heal and make sure they figure out what's wrong with them, not wrong with them, but what's in them that they have to fix to get better for you and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that's only then when the vases come back out. But that's why I feel like trust is, like, the hardest thing to rebuild, and 9 times out of 10 it doesn't get rebuilt, because how do you tell this person that you continuously hurt and created this pattern and lied to time and time again to give you another chance after they gave you 30 chances?
Yeah.
How do you tell them to do that? How you, like, you can't, and they probably never will, and then you just have this relationship where it's like, it's based off of, I trust you as far as I can throw you, I trust you as far as I can see you, and that's not gonna ever work.
And that's not a relationship.
Yeah.
Because back to autonomy, like that, if you want to marry somebody, if you want to be with somebody, it's so important for them to have their space, to be with their friends, to be with their family, to be at work.
To be outside,
to create. You need to give them time to be sad sometimes, be happy. And if you can't trust your person to just be their person, then what are you doing?
What are you doing? That might be the title of this podcast. Besides,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing featuring Natalie? So what are some steps you've taken over time out of everything we talked about to get past, you know, these trust issues, this value of yourself,
Yes.
these trust rebuild exercises, this redemption.
Yes.
What are some steps you've been taking and have took to get to where you are now?
You know what? Actually, some of the conversations we've had, and actually seeing my mother go to therapy and heal with her now boyfriend, like. I was talking to him. He's like, "Your mother has changed so much. Like she's just in this different place." And then we had actually talked about it at work.
Yeah.
In Medina, remember Medina?
Mediski, that's the homie,
Yes,
man.
my girl. I
Shout
miss
out to
her.
Mediski, G.
Come back, Medina.
She's cool as fuck, G. I fuck her heavy, man. We was over there talking to fucking OV, just kicking it. And I remember fucking Katie came over there hating and shit, like, "Oh, don't you gotta work?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I got no time. I'm not doing shit right now."
Let me
Like,
talk to my
she's
girl.
a fucking hater, bro. She's a
But
hater.
she said to me this one day, like, "Oh, my therapist is off on maternity leave or something. I'm feeling really lost. Like, I need my girl to come back." And I was like, "Oh, it could really be like that."
Yeah,
So I got myself into therapy.
I love that.
I'm just working to be more authentic and to put myself out there as much as I can and to trust myself. Definitely I've been journaling a lot and putting
That helps a lot.
time into my creative practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting your thoughts down like into words so that you can physically see your brain patterns and what your brain is thinking is.
Yeah, sometimes I don't actually write because I got terrible handwriting, but I'll type it, and I don't like it's a piece of meditation for me because I'm not necessarily thinking, it's just stream of consciousness.
Yes.
So sometimes it doesn't even make sense, but I'll just keep going and going and going and going until I feel like I can't type no more.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, when I reread
it's
it,
always going, right?
Yes, it always is. And when I reread it, sometimes it scares me. Sometimes I reflect. Sometimes I have now, you know, sometimes I'll do it before therapy, you know, whether it's a couple days before, a couple hours before, and now I can, like, you know, I'll sit through this, what I wrote down, and be like, "Oh, I've been feeling this lately. Like, this actually sticks out to me." And it makes it easier. Because sometimes I get in therapy and I just be like,
I'm
yeah,
fine.
I don't know.
I'm chilling.
I just been cooling, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Shit been going
it's
on.
so hard because you're not. Sometimes I won't be in that space where I'm like want to be open, want to be vulnerable, and be like,
Yeah.
this is what's really on my mind.
No, facts. You got to get that shit out sometimes. And it's also really good, I think, before confrontation. You know, if I want to bring something to somebody, especially with somebody I know, like me and my girlfriend are really working on our communication. And I know, like, I can probably say something the wrong way or take something the wrong way. So, like, it's really important to me to, like, sit down and, like, topic, like, okay, what is wrong here? What do I feel like I need to say? What do I actually want to say? So that's like unfiltered. Like, so I'm in that bitch like, "You stupid bitch! I can't believe you."
Right.
You know, like, I'm going nuts. I can't believe you. La la.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, basically, like, just all across the page. Just upset.
It's like, wait, what are we even talking about? What are we even mad about at this point?
We
Because
don't
we're
even
just
know.
putting each other down.
Because
right
now
now
I'm mad at the fact that you said "fuck you." It's not even about
Yes,
what we
what we
actually
were
mad at.
talking
That's why I'm
about
mad
in
at the
the first
disrespect here.
place.
Because, like, exactly. And so doing that has helped me filter all the bad shit, and then, like, picking apart, like, in between the fuck yous, like, okay, this is what I'm upset about. That's what I'm upset about. How does this relate to the topic? Okay, this doesn't even go here, but this is a completely different thing. Throw that out, throw that out, throw that out. And then just find a basic synopsis of what you're trying to say. Put it in the best words possible. Repeat it to myself. Read it enough. Take my time to figure out the right time or the right moment I feel like talking about it. And then it comes out very much more calm and collective. And, hey, you know, lately I've just been feeling like, woo, off the bam, la, la, la. And it's often received a lot better. I've noticed that. She doesn't know I do this. She probably will now, but she doesn't know I do that. Lately, I haven't put enough work into that because I've been so busy with life and everything that we kind of just haven't been talking about shit. But that's a good way to do it. And I think
Sometimes
journaling.
that gets in the way.
Yeah, journaling is the best way to do that.
It'll be like people who are married a long time that it'll be like, yeah, I saw my wife today when I had a beer when I got home from work and went to bed.
No, for real, G. It's actually happened that way the last 2 weeks. It actually really, like, was hurting me at one point. I was like, fuck, bro, I miss you. Like, I haven't, the only time I see you is when I get you from work and take you to work, or I'm taking myself to work or taking you home. We have this, like, quick little 30-minute ride sitting in traffic. You're half asleep because you've been working all day.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing really there. I was so happy yesterday
That's
we finally
just-
got to spend some time together and actually be with one another and talk to one another and say certain things and shit. It was really fucking cool. But I'm doing a lot of those steps too. I added in, like, I work out and I try to journal as much as I can. And yeah, being creative, like just writing a song, even when I don't have anything to write about, just putting on the beat and just trying to, like, just just construct something.
Free flow.
Yeah, meditation and praying has been really good for me too. I can only do it 2 to 7 minutes out the day for real, but
sometimes just putting that intention out there with prayer especially is just really...
Yeah, and it comes to you, I think it comes to you in tenfold and you don't notice it. Like, there's been a lot of times where I make a prayer and I get a call or a message or something and I don't know how significant it is until, like, I kind of rethink my day and I'm like, damn, I was just talking about this. Like,
that's such a beautiful thing, though, because no matter what, we are cared for, we are taken care of in every possible way. I think every person is, whether we like to see it and be grateful for it or not, it's there, that divine protection.
Yeah, no, facts. Reaching towards the end of the podcast, I got some more relationship questions with you.
10-minute mark.
Facts.
Thanks for sitting through us. Go take a potty break.
So I wanted to ask you, and you kind of already answered some of these questions, which just shows me how good I am at this, because I just kind of get people to open up without even asking these questions. But I want to know, how many relationships have you been in, and do you think you get better with each one?
I've been in 2, so not very many. So I can't really like a good...
Well, did you get better from the first one to the second one, would you say?
No. My first one...
No.
My first one, I was like 16, and it wasn't... Like, I wasn't even really technically allowed to...
Oh, so it was one of those sneaking around relationships.
Yes, I would sneak him in through my window at night.
This is the best. This is the best relationship ever.
It was so romantic. We were gonna get married.
So
and
Romeo and
everything.
Yes, bro. Yes, I had the same experience.
And I wouldn't even say I was really in love, like, or that I would necessarily consider it a relationship. So just one. Yeah.
Facts. Well,
Facts. How many have you been in? Do you
I've...
feel like you've gotten better with each one?
Thank you for asking. I have a weird way of counting this. Like, it's like 3.5, maybe 4, 4.5. There's like a half one in there somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, I think I got extremely better with each one, because I think whatever the last one didn't get, the second one definitely got. But there's always a disconnect to what I missed, right? And then every person is different. So I think my whole thing of basically just I would
just apologize to the microphone.
I did apologize to the microphone and
Sorry.
the people listening, like, sorry. And I'm like stumbling over my words and shit. Gotta cut all this off. You can't love people the same. They say you need to love people equally, but I don't think it operates that way, because everybody looks at love, trust, and care completely different. And I was just taking one prototype and taking it to the next person. And I would polish this prototype, like, okay, this didn't work for you, XYZ didn't work, and then go to the next relationship and be like, okay, same prototype, but don't do X, Y, and Z. But with the second person, sometimes that X, Y, and Z was like, no, I'm cool with X, Y, and Z. You can do that. It's this up here I don't fuck with. But I'm like, the last person did. Fuck.
Yeah.
Now I got to take away that. And now I'm cool with the X, Y, Z. Then you take that to the next person and like, nah, fuck the X, Y, and Z. We got to do this. So then I over time, I think, yes, I get better within myself and within, like, understanding what a relationship is and treating it properly. But what I realize now, and I think that's why my relationship now is so sacred and awesome and cool, is because I let go of all those prototypes and just came in with no expectations and no try, just genuinely trying to learn and love this person for who they are, meeting them exactly where they're at, and figuring out what love and care looks like to them and loving them that way. And also being very vocal on what love and care looks like to me and making sure they love me that way. And then putting the boundaries and all that shit in order. And, like, yeah, other than that, I think, through my relationships, like, I think just natural care and, like, affection and dates, shit that comes with relationships, I wasn't always really good at that. So I think I learned that through relationships, through different people. Some of them were very extra and needed a lot of things and wanted to go a lot of places. Some of them were, like, cool with sitting at the crib, but there's a balance there. And I think I got really good at being, like, dumb affectionate, super caring, and, like, doing the coolest thing. Like, my girl gets the craziest amount of gifts now, and she's just like, you're so fucking corny. And I'm like, yeah, but it's cute as fuck.
But she loves that shit.
I know she does.
She knows she does, yeah.
I know she does. Nah, you just mad. You just mad.
You just mad I love you so much.
Yo, no, for real. She be mad I love her so much.
I'm good at showing it to you.
No, for real. You were talking a little bit about love. Can you explain again to the people what love is for you? I think you said, what did you say? What did you say love was?
Love is spiritual upliftment.
Spiritual upliftment.
Yeah, so it's not it's your inner, not the blood and guts, the beating heart. The beating heart.
You're so silly, bro.
But seriously, it's tending to a person's their tweaks, what they really look like. Everybody has a different experience, so it's like you said, meeting them where they are.
Yeah.
It's open communication, it's fluidity. Love is one thing I always think about is love is a creative endeavor, just like anything else. So within that, it cannot always be expressed. Because you can't always write a song like that. I can't always paint a picture just like that. It's a creative endeavor, you know? So sometimes you're really in a space of like romanticism and, sensuality. But there are other times where you or your partner is not going to be in that space, you know? So it's just a constant give and take.
Facts. As I'm getting older, I'm learning, like, I think love is becoming simpler for me. Maybe because I just need less in life.
Isn't that a beautiful thing, though?
Yeah, it is a beautiful thing. I mean, because
it doesn't have to be so difficult. Love is
so up and down, so everywhere, so chaotic. I think people, like, relate love to, like, chaos. And, like, I think that's, like, our childhood emo in us thinks, like, love is, you know, carving my name into your arm and, like, fucking... You know, like, I really
love is blood.
Yeah, you have to bleed for me, and this is like, you know, no, but like
you have to want to take a bullet from me, or you don't love me.
Facts, but I think as you get older, you start to just become more logical and like start seeing this love as consideration. Like, you know what I mean? Like my girl
and being
knew
grateful for what that person can give to you, because it's never gonna be everything.
Facts. Just being thought about and considered feels like love to me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's thoughtfulness, caring, consideration, and respect. That's kind of all it boils down to. And those things are such broad topics that they can be broken down in many different ways and many different aspects.
So many different ways.
And but I like your spiritual way of you saying it. I actually really like that. I think that's really, really dope.
Because I feel like that kind of covers.
Yeah, it covers
all because that could be broken down and broken down and broken down and broken down,
yeah.
You know?
But it's dope, like, at 21 that you have the ideal of that being love, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know what I thought about love when I was 21. I'm not even sure. Was I still in that relationship? I'm not even sure. I don't remember. But I'm not sure if I actually knew what the fuck it was. How important do you think it is to work on you before working on something with another person?
Incredibly important. I mean... the way that you love yourself and the way that you treat somebody else is going to be not exactly how you care and treat other people, but that is going to kind of leak onto that person that you're giving your time and energy to.
Sure enough.
Because if I'm not taking care of me, then how can I take care of you? If I'm not being kind to me, then I will not always be able to be kind to you. Because I'm dealing with that unkindness. I'm dealing with that turmoil. You know, so how... Yeah.
I'm just going to project that onto everybody around me at that point.
Of course, yeah.
No, 100%. If it was up to me and not like not like the universe in my heart, I probably would have stayed single a lot longer just to really work on me. But I think my girl found me in a good place because I was definitely in a more healed space.
Had you been single a long time before you met her?
I had been single for like... The times get crunched and they get a little muddled. But I would say I had been single for like a year and a half.
Okay.
Damn near 2, because in my past relationship, the relationship was done before it was actually done, if that makes any sense. Like, we were already fucking around with other people. We were already just not respecting it. It was already just done. It was just one of those attachment things. So that's already, like, a big piece that was already done. And then, like, yeah, that was, like, a whole year after that. That was just me alone by myself. Like, there were run-ins and shit like that, sure. But, yeah, nah. So I definitely had enough time in therapy to myself, rebuilding, rethinking, you know, enough distance from a person, from all people, really, to just really, like, find myself and find out what I wanted and what was important to me.
That's a hard balance, though, because you feel like you have to be around people to heal your relationships with people. Yeah. So there's a certain amount of, like, space that you should be able to take that should, because we're always alone.
Yeah.
Even when we're with people, we're alone.
Yeah.
It's just you inside your body. So.
Facts, and maybe I should deal with that better. I think that's probably a reason why. So, like I told you, in relationships, they kind of like bring out these triggers and these wounds. I realized in the beginning of my relationship with my girl now that I realized how just healed I was. I was like, oh, holy fuck, like I really am like here, and this therapy shit, the shadow work, all this other shit is actually working. I actually feel at peace again. I actually feel like I can love again. And it happened on its own. It was there was no apprehension to any of it.
It's natural.
Yeah, it was very, very natural. And I knew that. But then, as we got deeper in our relationship and those wounds started to show themselves, there's a couple pieces where I'm like, damn, I didn't get over that. Damn, I'm still dealing with that. Damn, I'm still triggered by that.
Yeah.
Which I think is a little unfair to her. But at the same token, I think I had to work on it with somebody, and I'm glad it's her out of anybody.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen with anybody. Like, you're always going to be coping with life and different things that it just happens. Life happens. And whether you're with a person or not, you have to be able to kind of handle that. And
yeah, there's always, like you said, a give and take. There's always a lot of bad that comes with the good.
Yes.
And you just hope there's more good than there is
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it balances itself out pretty well.
It normally does. It normally does. It should, you know what I mean? And I think, that's when you kind of learn to let go when it's not balancing itself out. What's, that's something I wish that I would have, when I was younger in relationships and moving around and dating, I wish I would have been better at like it actually makes me upset today that people are so easy to cut people off and so easy to be like, nope, not for me, and like judging people by it, like a book by its cover and missing so many chapters in between. It like annoys me. But I wish I was better at that. I wish that's the one thing I would have like grasped when I was younger and dating and in relationships, like when to let go and when to be like, that person isn't in show. Like, why are you forcing this? Like, don't do that. What's something you wish you would have learned when you were younger that you know now?
That I know now.
Or maybe something you wish you knew. Something you want to get better at.
Just keeping my own practices. That's something that I wish that I felt like I can very easily be kind of just so wrapped up in love and in the romance and, him, when... Oh, me.
Like, you still a
me,
person
dog.
too.
Yeah, I was born naked and I will die, born naked and alone, and I will die probably clothed, but also alone. And I don't know who or what is going to come with me when I'm somewhere else, when my spirit is somewhere else, or what that's even going to look like.
I like that. That's beautiful. So coming to the end of the podcast, thank you so much for this conversation.
Yes. Glad we had it.
What's something you learned from your younger self?
From my younger self?
Yeah.
To be authentic.
Oh. And do you have a 3 to 5 year plan? If so, what is it?
Within the next 3 to 5 years, I really want to be just much healthier. I want to be cooking for myself.
Facts.
3 meals a day. That's pretty high shooting, but I want to be doing something that's working to my future, hopefully in a relationship, hopefully a mother, maybe not within the next 3 to 5 years, but eventually.
Working towards it.
Yes, definitely, like setting the groundwork for that to be accomplished, and definitely doing something cool with my artwork, like just being able to put it out and collaborate with people in different ways. Yeah,
I'm not going to have much time to look at your artwork after this, but I would like you to take some pictures and send them to me.
I will.
I like to take people's art and use them as album covers and shit like that.
Dope. I've done that before. Yeah, you definitely should.
Facts.
Visual 9 from Akron, Ohio. Check out his album. I did the whatever. Yeah, the cover.
What's the last book you read?
I'm actually reading it right now. It's Honeybee Democracy.
And what is it about?
It's about how honeybees actually communicate with one another to like relocate where their homes are, and they'll like break off into these hives. It's really interesting, and I've learned a lot about queen honeybees and how they're chosen.
Sick. Okay.
Yeah.
Look it up, Honeybee Democracy.
It's a hefty read.
Last but not least, what's something you want to leave with the people? It could be advice, a quote, a joke, anything. If these were your last words, what would they be? Nah, not that deep, but
Remember that the world is a big, vast place, and that there is something so much more profound than what we can see physically. You know, there's something so divine that loves and cares for, I think, every single being of flesh. Yeah.
thank you so much for coming to the podcast.
Let's leave it there.
Yeah, already broken, ain't been this numbing, ooh wow. I hide my feelings in liquor, I spill my mind to the crowd. I feel so lonely and bitter, it takes so much just to smile. They took another brother